Taking a look at the stock tanking more than 20%. I'm sure so many investors right now are saying, what is going on? The numbers there missed, but not by much.
Yeah, there was a missed expectation here, but I think that there was a much, much larger story at play, which is that, and I think when you listen to the call, you heard it between Zuckerberg and Sandberg, and it really was that this company is entering a new chapter. And when you look at the growth that they were telegraphing, that growth is dropping, right? So their constant currency growth rate number was down to about 38%. They're telegraphing something in the mid-30s going forward. We haven't really seen this from Facebook. And Ramy, that's the big change here, is that they're entering a new lower growth chapter. And there are all kinds of ramifications for that.
Now, a question on ad load as well, because over the past 3 or 4 quarters, we've actually been seeing that the price per ad has been rising, but that the number of ads delivered have been falling here.
Right. So this is also gets to the engagement question, which is that again, in the early days of Facebook, it was really about running display ads, running ads, even in the beginning of Instagram, in sort of a traditional classic display way. Now they're starting to see that they want to get more creative and they want to get more subtle with their ad growth and with their ad tools, and that really gets to this new chapter, which is that you're going to see more pressure on the company going forward to monetize new services and monetize things in new ways going forward. And you're starting to see that in the numbers.
Crawford, this 20% plunge after hours then, do you think that's justified? I mean, this seems like a miss, but we're still talking about revenue north of 40%. Margins are compressed, but we're still talking about some solid double-digit numbers.
Yeah, Yvonne, there was clearly a shock factor associated with this today. What you find interesting is that this is a company that is talking about telegraphing growth in the mid 30% range. There is any traditional tech company would kill for growth in that kind of a range. And I think that if you look at that, if you look at an IBM, if you look at a Hewlett-Packard Enterprise, if you look at any one of these companies, 35% growth is just crazy. It's a new chapter, and that was the sort of my takeaway from the call, was that they're again, the days of Facebook kind of showing up, getting 1 billion users on the platform and being able to monetize those users traditionally are over. Now they're getting into much subtler ways to grow their revenue that are going to be more difficult for them to do. And I think investors need to get their heads around that we're now entering a new phase. And you know what? This is a really valuable company. And this company has a killer platform of which only one exists of in the world. They're going to figure out new ways to monetize it off a lower growth. So, personally, I think this was really about the shock value that you saw this afternoon.
Yeah, and we heard from Mark Zuckerberg during the earnings call just about the bright spots they do see, and Instagram certainly is one of them. Let's take a listen.
This is a moment to reflect on how this acquisition has been an amazing success. When Instagram joined us, the team had only 16 people, and since then, Kevin and the team have built Stories, Direct, and now IGTV. This has been a story of great innovation and product execution, and it's also a story of how effective the integration has been.
And Crawford, you can add Instagram, WhatsApp, Messenger to the mix of that. But how much progress do you think has been made in monetizing these apps to offset the slowdown we saw in Facebook?
Yeah, they talked about that a little bit on the call. I mean, I have to say, I agree with Mark Zuckerberg in that Instagram was a fabulous acquisition, potentially one of the most valuable in modern tech. You are talking about a company that was very, very small. What's interesting about Instagram is it's engaging people in a new way. And that engagement means that people keep coming back to it and coming back to it and coming back to it throughout the day. So what Instagram is trying to do is come up with ways to monetize different components of Instagram. So you don't just monetize the picture someone puts up, but now you monetize the stories. But unfortunately, stories right now require more technology and more refinement in order to monetize them in a new way. We're seeing the same thing out of WhatsApp, in that there's a nice video engagement in WhatsApp, but it's harder to monetize. So that's where I think you have to get your head around the future of this company. They have to do more development on these platforms in order to monetize them going forward. And you heard that on the call from all three of them. Basically, I need to build my own data center to deploy AI. Why? To do things like automated chatbots that are going to pick up the conversation after someone starts doing messenger work, say within Facebook or within Instagram in the future. They want to do some invention here, and doing that invention is going to take money.